Black Ops 4. In today's video I'm going to get around 150 on all of the Black Ops 4 zombie maps. I'm not going to do classified, which I dislike. It is the worst Black Ops 4 map, and I've already got 150 on this map and I didn't want to do it. And to make it, I guess, difficult, I will be using classic elixirs and trying to go flawless. So after this video I'll release separate videos like montages for the individual maps, as I do not stop at 150. I even get 2 world records, and at the end of the video I will rank the strategies from worst to best. So let's begin with the Voyage of Despair.
When you say deal with, I have to ask. How? I will not share.
I ran 2 secret sources, Dying Wish and Stone Cold Stronghold, for the modifier. I would spend the first few rounds in spawn. Then on round 5 I would go to the box location to hit the box. I got the Kraken first hit. A couple of box hits later I get the Outlaw, which I will use for the free perk Easter egg. After a couple hits later I get the Helion Salvo without moving the box, which means more chance to get max ammo. I headed to the boot deck to activate the Sentinel artifact. I grabbed the rest of the shield bits and I built the shield. Then headed down to shoot my first fish. I used the ray fire to see the fish in the water, because it's difficult to see without the fish. I then went up and got my second fish. Only one fish can spawn at a time, so I must collect the fish before the next one can show up. I then got my next fish and I headed down and I meleeed this safe and I picked the device up. I then activated the rest of my pack of punch machines so I could do the first step of the Easter egg, which is the clock step. So I got my first clock, my second clock. I then put the device I picked up from the safe onto another safe. It will give me a code. I then had to go to the mail room and look for a piece of paper with a code that matched the safe and pick up the bone near the paper. And the third clock was here as well. I then looked at the piece of paper and picked up the skull near it, and I put it into the safe and I meleeed the safe to get the device back. I headed to the first class lounge to put the device on the safe, and then I got my final clock code. Then headed to the bridge to put the codes in, whatever these things are called. I picked up my second bone and put it into the safe. On the way to the poop deck I shot my 4th fish, and I proceeded to finish the clock step. I went to the engine room and picked up my fish and finished my last clock. I then got my 5th fish, and then finally my last fish. I then will put all the fish onto this box, and the Kraken will give me a free perk, which was Quick Revive, which is perfect for this high round. So I went through a couple of rounds until round 9. I kept an electric zombie so I can do the Easter egg to get a free Kraken and monkeys. So this took me a couple of tries to get right. Eventually I managed to get it right. I put the device on my 3rd safe. I would head to the cargo hold to collect my skull and put it into the safe. I would head to the millionaire suite and put a device on my final safe. For the final time I collected my final skull and put it in the safe. So I have to go to the cargo bay and hold X on this car and it will sink into the water. Earlier I killed a electric zombie and it gave me his hand. I would put the electric effect on my Kraken. I would spend the next few rounds getting my perks, upgrading my Kraken and Helion. I ran 2 secret sources. Initially I would run Wit as well and PhD. But I played a game where I got to 125 and died because I didn't have stamina. So instead of PhD I ran stamina. I would also run the Bandolier Bandit perk as well. So this strategy is pretty easy. I would spam my Kraken into the zombies, and I would always try down my special weapon when I'm about to reload, and then I use the level 3 effect on When I would run out of ammo, I would go up the stairs, through the dining hall, up the stairs, and then I would buy the shield, head down, buy the Kraken ammo. Sometimes electric zombies don't spawn, so instead the water Kraken, you gotta kill the water zombie, and he will give you something, and you buy ammo back, and you stay in the end of it. When I did get an electric zombie hand, I would go through the portal, through the cargo hold, and then the portal through the boiler room, and finally back to the strategy. And I got to around 150, killed a water zombie, but the suffering doesn't end there. So I stay in spawn and complete the challenges. From the banner, I get a Pack-a-Punch Strife and the part for the acid trap. I worked on getting the Pack-a-Punch. On the way, I picked up a cup, a sword, and a Viking helmet. And I put these pieces onto this Viking boat. And then I chuck a ray fire from Zeus to Odin, making sure it lands on the boat. Then I have to wait about 7 rounds. While I was waiting, I built the acid trap near the Ra tunnel. Then on round 12 I finally got my free perk, which was Winter's Whale. And I done another challenge and I got another free perk, which was Time Slip, the perk I actually needed for the high rounds. On round 19 I upgraded the weapon. I forgot to mention that I started the game with this weapon. It is good for insta kills. On round 26 I finally got the Helion and I upgraded it. I started to camp by the Danu tunnel with the door to the flooded crypts kept closed. The spawns are really quick and I just spammed the rocket launcher using my special weapon. On round 54 I left the low round strategy as I was running out of ammo, so I went to switch out my perks, but like an absolute idiot I was switching my perks around mid round and my Dying Wish activated. And thank God for the free perk Time Slip, I was able to only switch out Stamina and I could keep the total perk and PhD. So now I have to move up to the higher round strategy. So I use the acid trap to kill the zombies, then I head up, train the zombies up, activate the blade trap, and then finally I would head below and chuck a ray fire on the floor and it should kill the zombies. And when I had Helion ammo I would train the zombies. But it was pretty tricky because all different types of fucking enemies, they wouldn't group up properly. But I just did what I can. And finally I reached round 100 with a single hammer shot. But 150 was a gladiator round, so I got to 151, which took me 28 hours. It was pretty fun. I ran Time Slip, Total Perk, Dying Wish and Stamina. I spent the 2 first rounds at the spawn. I opened the door and then turned on the power. I managed to get through the catwalk and killed Brutus and collected his key. I then headed to the power switch to turn it on and I killed yet another Brutus. Yeah, Brutus, prepare to die again, buddy. I then built the shield where I was going to be doing my higher round, then fed my first, second, and did some ritual on this dog. I then got my tomahawk and headed to spawn and collected my first skull. And then Brutus decided he was going to make me pay more for time. No, don't punch my perk, you fuck. And I got a sniper from the box and I then got my second skull from this toilet. And I got my third skull from the roof. I then got my 5th skull at the docks and finally my whatever skull this is, and then got my Blundergat. Thank you, Matt. I then had to get kills with my special weapon in this area so I can charge my monkey. I charged my monkey and I shot it with the Blundergat and he teleported back to spawn, to which I picked up a couple rounds later. And I started my fucking strategy. So I'm just collecting souls here. I'll trap this overpowered ass trap. I'll just train them up and then shoot them with the shield key. Bang, boosty boom. And turn the trap on, and yep, that's, yep. Now a lot of strategies had the magma gat, but you know, for the Brutus you just use a sweeper, bang, bang, 2 shots and he's dead, bro. If you get a headshot, bro, it's 1 shot. So Brutus was really easy. Unlucky. Now it was going pretty smooth until around 134, where I nearly died because, yeah, I don't know what this zombie was doing. I then used my special weapon to get a shield, so I'm safe. And despite that trouble, I managed to get around 150. Let's go. So I stayed in spawn till about round 4. I stayed 1 extra round, but then I went to activate the Sentinel artifact. I proceeded to make my way to the dining hall and started hitting the box. And I managed to get the Helion from the box, so that means more chance for max ammo. I went to the library to fill up the green crystal. I looked through the crystal and it showed me the rope. Yep. I then built the shield, got my first symbol for the elixirs gun. I then built whatever this thing is. I then fed the blue crystal right after and looked through it and saw a clock. I then got my second symbol. I made my way to the cemetery to find my second last symbol. Then I headed to the master bedroom to fill up the purple crystal, to which it showed me the Zeus perk. I then found my final symbol, went back to the library, put the code into this machine and will give me the elixirs pistol. I then pulled out my shield, hit the bookshelf and it revealed me a special part. I then headed all the way to the Zeus perk and killed the bats, and the bats dropped me my first tuning fork. Straight after that I went to do the clock tuning fork. I just had to stay on this little circle, it would finish and I will get my second tuning fork. I then went back to the library and got silver bullets for my rocket launcher. Then I finally found the rope, and I had to follow this ghost, which led me to the dining hall and I got my last tuning fork. I then finally headed to Pack a Punch, used my rocket launcher, killed the wolf, picked up the prima materia. I then crafted the chaos theory, then I headed to the cemetery to shoot these lanterns and kill the bat and pick up the prima materia. I then headed to Pack a Punch to shoot the yellow effect on the ground and the zombie will dig up the next part. I headed back to the cemetery and killed a bunch of vampires using this wind effect, and then I dropped some yellow stuff, and then once enough is collected I had to interact with this tomb thing and the red vampire will spawn out of it. I just used my special weapon to kill him, pick up the prima materia. I finally crafted my elixirs Annihilator. I then headed to the master bedroom to do other strategies. On round 19, I was packer punching and the wolf was giving me a bit of trouble, so I had to take him out. He nearly killed me. Respect there. Now I'm good to go for the strategy. She said in this corner with the elixirs pistol, just shooting him. The green one and the red one, the fire one, is probably the best two. The yellow one, we do not like. The wind one is pretty mid. So I was basically just using my special weapon. I was on round 99 and then I didn't have a shield, so I just used my special weapon. Ran quickly to get a shield. I got the shield and I sort of ran into the zombies like an idiot, and I used the wrong gobble gum like an idiot. Thankfully I had my rocket launcher. I spam and I got out of it. But I finally reached around 150. It probably took about 2 days.
Bruno? What are you doing?
So straight away I just start knifing the zombies. And then round 4, I go to the Sentinel artifact and complete a little lockdown where Pegasus will save us. For some reason, I brought the Bowie knife. Couldn't tell you why. I then activated a challenge. I found a dormant hand on my way to collect the shield parts. I then picked up the golden bridle and killed him, and he dropped me apart conveniently next to the buildable table. I then head over to whatever the yellow hand is, and I did the lockdown for that. I found my second gauntlet part, and I put it on Gaia, which was right next to it. So convenient. So I completed some challenges, and I got a free reward, which was an extra life. Pretty good. So I went to the other side of the map, and I found a gauntlet hand, and some skeletons thought they'd be tricky. So I did the blue hand lockdown step. I then found my final gauntlet part, and did the lockdown for the Shalron hand, the gauntlet I'll be using. I did more challenges, and I got Mule Kick. Yep. I then killed a bunch of zombies, and then I drank the water, and now I've got to look for some tokens, and then put it on Shalron's gauntlet hand thing. Cool. I then do a ritual. I just got to kill a bunch of zombies using the gauntlet. I then completed yet another challenge, and I got the fire activated. So I put my shield into the fire on the spear, and I chuck it at this pot. Somehow finally got the Pegasus strike at round 19. Don't ask me why. I killed a electric zombie at the yellow hand. On round 21, I finally pulled the Helion and put on some moves too. I killed a poison zombie at Shalron, the water one at the blue hand, and finally the fire zombie at Gaia. So now I can upgrade my hand of Shalron. So I do the challenge first. So the first one, I have to kill a bunch of electric zombies here. The next one, I got to kill a bunch of skeletons. The next one, I got to kill 3 of the big guys with the shields, and then finally a couple of Blightfathers. You know, and I upgraded my hand of Shalron. And by the way, I didn't upgrade any other hand, only the Shalron. So I didn't know that. So I thought I tried out this game, and it worked. So there you go. You don't need all the hands, only the hand of Shalron. So you only need to upgrade one hand, and then the rest you don't need to touch. So what the strategy is, you shoot the hand into the ground. The zombies will path towards it, and they will die. The perk Luna in the modify slot will help out, because Luna will drop you max ammos. But sometimes, guys, she didn't drop me any max ammos. So I'd either have to wait or get really lucky with the challenge drops. Like for example here, I got a max ammo when I was low on ammo, and I got ammo back on my gun. Here's an example of me being an absolute idiot. I used my weapon, I did the monkey bomb effect, and then I shot them with the rocket launcher. Cool. And finally, I got to round 150 with this strategy. It is so good, so fun. Yeah.
What is the next phase of our journey?
I wish I could forewarn you of what is to come.
So I stay in spawn, and on round 4 I open up the door. Along the way I shoot some mannequin heads so I can get a free perk later. I then hit the box, get the Tommy gun, followed by the Helion.
I was a weapon, I did this.
I then made my way to turn on the power. I then open up the bunker area, and then I use an anywhere bar here to build the shield. I then do as a lockdown. I then pick up this key, get a code from this paper, then do this annoying step to get the pack punch working, where I have to activate these dial steps. I hate it. I then build the Mark II upgrade bench thingy. I then get my other code paper, and then open the drawer and get my next code. And then I put the code 7626, and then I shot all the heads of the mannequins, and a bunch of mannequin zombies will spawn in. I'll have to kill them. Once I kill them, the perk bottle will drop. I grab the Galva Knuckles, and I get the perk Blaze Phase, which I thought was pretty shit, but then, you know, once in the higher rounds, it became useful. Put in my next set of codes, followed by another set of codes. I found the Mark II TV, so I have to press X on it and then get kills. And then it will give me a number. I then turn my subtitles on, and then I do the step where I have to knife the zombie. Look at these codes. They represent a clock. I have to write these down and remember it. So then I have to head to this house, put the clock to the correct one, and then I have to go to my next house and do the same thing again. And then the next house, and then my fourth house, and my fifth house that has the ray gun Mark II. I didn't pick it up. I then pick up this gun that was pack-a-punched. That would help me, so I save points. And then my last clock, I just have to hold X and then it will just do it automatically. Now I have to work on getting the frame thingy for the Mark II. I finish off my second TV, then I'm up to my third TV, which I finished that. And finally my last TV, which is at spawn. So it's pretty easy. I then put the code into the Rushmore and he will give me the frame thingy. So I pick one up and now I'm good to upgrade. I then put the dead wire attachment on my gun and pick up this tube. And now I have to shoot the post. This is my first one. This will be my second one. My third one. This will be my fourth one. And then my fifth one. And it will create electricity in this box. So I put my tube in there and then get some zombie kills. I then upgrade my Mark II to whatever the yellow one is. I then have to get brain rot on my gun. Then I have to kill a turned zombie and he will dig up the next canister. And then I have to go around the map, look for 2 orange orbs, place a teleporter, shoot it through, it will go through. Then I have to go to the next portal that has an orange orb, put another teleporter, shoot the orb, and then go through it. I do have to credit this map. I do like the Mark II upgrades on this map. I don't have to charge my canister, get some more zombie kills. Once I've got enough zombie kills, I then have to upgrade it and then pack-a-punch it. So what I have to do for this strategy, I just have to train the zombies with my shield out. Then I use the sword. The sword's probably fun in this strategy. You just get to spam it. The spawns here really quick and you go through rounds really fast. When charging my sword, I just have to group them up, shoot them with the rocket launcher, and then train while I have my shield out. The total perk helps with this. On round 71, I traded out my PhD for time slip, so the trap will activate faster, as I kept running out of ammo, and that's why I used secret sauce. So this strategy is a lot easier. This is like an AFK sort of trap. And the perk I got before Blaze Face, I would crouch and it would charge up, and so when the trap finishes, I would let the crouch button go and I would zoom. Then I would head up the stairs and try to just go around by enough time so the trap can activate. I do check a Wraith Fire here just so it kills some zombies and maybe I can get like a sword or a max ammo drop. I then head my way, dodging and weaving. The trap sound will activate. I will go in, turn the trap on and get back to my AFK. And finally I reached round 150. It did take some time, but it was alright. So the final map is here. So I roll in with Dying Wish, PhD, Winter's Wail and Stokehold Stronghold with the Ragnaroks and Wraith Fire as my weapons. And of course classic elixirs like we've done throughout the whole entire challenge. So I turn on the power and then I kill a fire zombie on round 3 just so he won't spawn later, and I pick up the dynamite part. I then finish round 3. So I need 3 parts for the dynamite. The second dynamite zombie spawned in, so I missed a lot of shots, but then he got frozen by the water, picked up the pot. I then made my way out of the spawn towards the lighthouse. Then I interacted with George's glasses, which gave me an extra 500 points. I then proceeded to build the shield. I then pick up the blue rock and then make my way to the boat and turn on the power. And then I drop down, pick up this gearbox. Then I go back of the ship, find this wheel, and I put the wheel on this thing and I spin it. Find another wheel, and then I found my last fire zombie. So I deal with him, get the dynamite part, and I don't have to worry about him So I finish, I spin the wheel, I go to the guy, he gives me the zip lines, I then give him the blue rock and the gearbox. I then head behind Pack-a-Punch, pick up this statue, and then I head towards the facility and then turn on the power. I then went to pick up my second statue, and then I buy the trebuchet, and then I get the Helion from the box without it moving. And then I find my third statue, and then my fourth statue, and finally my fifth statue at the Golden Pack-a-Punch. I pack a bunch of trebuchet and the Helion. Once the lockdown finishes, I go to the beach and put my perks into this box. I then wait the next round, and then a bunch of electric zombies will spawn. I then kill all of them, and a free perk will spawn, to which I got the total perk. It's pretty mid on this map. So now I'll move on to the higher rounds. So what I do for this game, I just use my trebuchet, and then when my Ragnarok's are ready, I plant it down and it will spawn kill the zombies. And the spawns, the zombies will be really quick. The dogs can be really annoying, but I deal with them easy. And you can get to around 100 in less than 2 hours. It's pretty crazy. It was going well until 144. I don't know how I ended up here. I went to go up the stairs and then a bunch of zombies surrounded me. I didn't have any shield and no ammo, and my dying wish activated. So I could have died here, but I managed to get out. And then I made it to 150, and that completes the challenge. I am now going to rank all the strategies. Might as well put classified here, go fuck yourself strategy. Next up, Alpha Omega. This one is pretty mid. You sit here with the trap, and then you would train around while the trap was ready. I'm going to give number 6 to Voyage of Despair. This one, even though it's an alright one, you spam the Kraken. The Krakens are pretty bad. The water one is pretty bad, and sometimes the electric zombie doesn't spawn, so you do not get the electric one. So that's why it's here. Number 5 is Dead of the Night strategy. Just using the Alistair's gun. It would be probably top 3, but then the rocket launcher, yeah, it's pretty basic and mid. But the green and the red effect thingy is pretty good. But the yellow one and the wind one really pissed me off. Number 4 is the trebuchet tag the toten strategy. This strategy is surprisingly, it's fun. It's good watching the zombies spawn kill the zombies. And then the shield run kept it engaging for me. Really good. Let's go. The dog's the only thing that puts it here. Fuck you, dog. Blood of Dead would have been number 1, but I just kept getting absolutely demolished by zombies, and this is the map I got angry on, and so it comes 3rd. It's still pretty good. Train the zombies with the shield. Shield blaster. I love the use of the shield on this map. Well done. Number 2 is 9. This is a weird one. The camping strategy is probably last, but the training strategy, I don't know why. It was a lot of chaos, really fun, and you know what? The crowd really helped. I love the crowd chanting "No mercy." It's fantastic. It didn't get boring, although the rounds were long, but it's good, mate. Good fun. And the funnest strategy for me was Ancient Evil. Just the gauntlet was really fun, really engaging. Also loved the use of the Lunar perk for once, and that bitch is useful. And yep, it's fantastic. And that's how I got to around 150 on every single Black Ops 4 map. This was really fun. At Black Ops 4, I would sum the BO4 high rounds as it's a rhythm. For example, you activate the trap. When the trap finishes, you do a loop. When the trap's ready, you turn the trap on and get back to it. And if you fall out of it, just say you Maybe your shield breaks, you got to get a new shield, and then zombies catch you. You have to use a gobble gun. You know, you've never done that before in the strategy, so it's, you know, if you fall outside the rhythm, you know, you get higher chance for you to go down. So that's the end of the video, and